Good evening, everyone. Welcome. My name is Jonathan Lipp, and welcome to the opening night of the Big Apple Film Festival. So, we are proud to present our opening night film, Inside the Rain. This is a film that focuses on many important issues. It focuses on mental health, and it does it with drama, and it does it with humor, with an amazing cast, amazing writing, and it's a great opening night for this festival, a great opening night film for this film festival because it is very, very New York. So that said, I would like to invite up writer, director, star, Aaron Fisher.
You want me to introduce the film? The film is loosely autobiographical. It took 4.5 years to make. I'm proud of it, and I couldn't have done it without my wonderful cast and crew, including my older brother, who's the cinematographer. And my father, who's executive producer. And my mom, just for dealing with me.
And please stick around afterwards. We're going to have a Q&A with Aaron and other cast members. So please stick around. We'll see you after the show. Enjoy. Thank you. I'd like to now invite up Aaron Fisher, Ellen Toland, and Catherine Burton. Let me first congratulate all of you on an amazing film. Give them a round of applause. Thank you. So let me first ask Aaron, tell us a little bit about the inspiration of this film. Is it biographical? Is it semi-biographical?
Semi-biographical. Loosely autobiographical, as ridiculous as it seems, but yeah.
So what was the process? How long ago did you come up with the concept? And how did this all?
When I started off, I wanted to make a feature film, and I felt like I had a story and that I had to tell it. Like I needed to tell it, but I didn't know what the story was. I knew that hey Al, what's up? Hey, colorist. Hey, so I'm a big fan of The Graduate, and I was feeling like Benjamin Braddock in the Graduate. So I just set off just trying to write a screenplay that was like The Graduate, and I knew the guy gets the girl in the end, although as you see, it kind of changed. Because it felt more organic, actually. In earlier drafts of the script, they do end up together, but then I realized that the timing was off, you know. So, and that's when I added the Lindsay character into the psych ward, and then runs into her at the end to make it like a little happier-ish. What else? Yeah, and I was writing the script for 4 years. I didn't start off trying to write something autobiographical.
And then you were great in the film, amazing job. And then you have an amazing cast around you as well. How'd you go about the casting? How'd you go about finding Ellen and Catherine and Rosie and Eric? How did this cast come together?
Well, Ellen Toland, as I was saying in an interview to New York One earlier today, there was over 5,000 actresses applied to audition for Emma Taylor, and then my casting directors, Ellen and Maria, somewhere here. Oh, hey. So they invited. We held auditions for a month and a half for 3 times a week. We saw a lot of actresses, and we came back down to callbacks, and we were looking at the remaining actresses that I liked. And they're very talented, but I just decided that the other callbacks, the other actresses looked a little like New York City actresses trying to play a sex worker. I guess you know what's gonna come next, I guess. Ellen Tolan looked like legit. She looked like the real deal, like someone who was like a legit runaway or something. Yeah, it felt much more authentic with Ellen. And Ellen's so nice, so I'm glad I got to work with Ellen because now I'm friends with her because she's cool. I'm gonna stop talking.
So, Ellen and Catherine, I'll start with Ellen. What drew you to the script when you first read it? What made you say, I really want to be a part of this film?
A lot of things. I always really enjoy scripts that are written from people's perspectives of their own life. I thought it was really important that we were getting to laugh at mental illness. I feel like that's not readily available in films about mental illness right now. And then also that a sex worker was being portrayed like a girl next door. I don't have a lot of stereotype versions of that in film right now. So yeah, and getting to work with incredible cast, and it's really fun.
Catherine?
Yeah, well, why this film? So.
Yeah, when you first read the script, what made you say, I would love to be a part of this?
Yeah, I thought the script was really beautiful. The script is actually a little bit different than the film right now, and both were equally sort of wonderful. But you know, we so little understand each other, right? I mean, and yet we so do understand each other. And there was an article I read recently that said that something like our genetic whatever, we're like 99% alike, something ridiculous like that. And I think we all are so much more alike than we are different. And what this movie sort of broke my heart because, you know, it was two parents trying to get it right and a kid who they're never, ever, ever going to let go of in a way that, you know, they wouldn't always know where he was or how he was or what he was up to. And that just struck me as so beautiful. And that this person who was really struggling with a lot of stuff going on with, you know, how to get through the day when you have major challenges, challenges that are so common more than they are not common. And I thought it was a wonderful journey unexpectedly into this world, and one that we could laugh at and one that we could say, oh my God, you know, we're all really so much more alike than we are different. So that was, I just fell in love with the script, and then I got to meet Aaron and Ellen and everyone in the cast and crew, executives, everybody, casting people, everybody on this project has just been beautiful. And I think, Aaron, you've done an amazing thing because you've opened a door to something that we all felt was like taboo, you know, like you're not supposed to really laugh at it or talk about it, or you're not supposed to have any kind of real, you know, just look at it but don't look at it. And so you've made us go, we actually, maybe we get to not have such a misunderstanding amongst all of us, and I think it's incredibly important. I think this film is just incredibly important.
So, Aaron, I have one question for you, and then I'm going to open up the audience.
For sure.
There's a beautiful scene between you and Ellen one moment when you're interacting with each other, but you don't hear the dialogue. There's just music.
Just the walk.
Right, and I was wondering, was there dialogue written originally, and then you later said, forget it, it'll be more captivating with the music, or was it planned like that?
It was planned like that. In the script, it's one sentence that was like this big. It's like they walk like in silence to the car. But I always knew that I wanted it to be like a 1 or 2 minute sequence that's just silence. I was just told that if I tried to write it out like that in the script, like it would turn people off. So I just had it as one quick sentence, but I always knew it was going to be a long walk.
Was the music original music, or was this?
It's music from, we worked with Groove Garden. The music supervisors were great. I forget the name of the song and the artist, but they're not well known at all. I really love the song though. They're not well known. I think the rights for the music was something like $400 or $500, which is like kind of nothing.
Yeah.
So I hope the people who did the song get to see the movie. I don't even know who they are.
All right, so let me open it up to the audience. If anybody has a question, feel free to raise your hand. All right, what do we got? Go ahead. Don't be shy. Anyone at all? Okay, go ahead.
What is the inspiration behind the title?
Inside the Rain, I stole it from lyrics of Bob Dylan's song called, what is it called? Just Like a Woman. It's like, nobody feels any pain tonight as I stand inside the rain. And I heard that, and I was like, that's the main image and metaphor for my whole movie. That's when I realized I was going to have that scene in the rain. Yeah. And also, the rain thing is supposed to be like a metaphor. I want it to be open to interpretation to anyone who's watching it. But for me, it meant like you could be in the rain and you could be miserable because you're just soaked, or you could be in the rain and you're soaked and you're euphoric. And I saw that sort of as like kind of a metaphor for bipolar disorder, because with bipolar depression, you could be feeling totally shitty or amazing, and your circumstances are exactly the same. Because it just has to do with a chemical imbalance in the brain. It's a medical condition. It has nothing to do with anything going on, despite people telling you like, what's wrong with you? You're not trying hard enough and stuff. It's a medical condition. But yeah, I didn't want to get preachy about that. Actually, honestly, I meant it to be open to interpretation.
Yeah, we have a question right there.
Hey guys, congratulations on your project.
Thank you.
Amazing movie, was really interesting to see. Question, which scene was the most complex and why?
Which was the most what?
Which scene was the most complex and why?
Complex. In terms of acting or directing or editing or
Anything.
anything.
Yeah?
The most complex? All of them. No, I mean honestly, it's very hard to make a movie that is actually, people will like it when they watch it.
Which one has the most amount of takes?
Most amount of takes is, I think, is a romantic walk. Because you said we're gonna do this quick. And I was like, no, Ellen, trust me, this is gonna be it took 4.5 hours of just doing, one take, because it had to be right over 1.5 minutes with the steady cam and everything, and making sure Ellen can actually drive the car away. And no, I'm just joking, she can drive. So that took 4.5 hours, and the last take was the one we finally got. That was good.
Okay, we have a question right there.
Hi, when did you decide that you were going to be the star of the film?
Good question. From the very beginning, when I started writing. But I was maybe like 2 years into the script or something, and my father was, wanted to executive produce it, and it was starting to become more like something that might actually happen. And I was taking acting classes, various schools, I'm not gonna name them, but like I tried to get into like 2 different intermediate level acting classes, and I was rejected by both of them. And so it kind of sunk my confidence, and I was saying to my dad, do you think that maybe we should like maybe think about casting someone else for the lead role? And my dad was like, no, I'm not doing the movie unless you're starring in it. So I was like, okay, I guess that makes my decision easier. And also I'm not one to half-ass anything. So then when I was obviously starring in it, I said, okay, I'm a professional actor now. And I started training like one. And I started also taking classes with Bob McAndrew, if he's still here. Bob, hey Bob, everyone get. Yeah.
Any other questions? Open phone in front of you, go ahead.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it, first off. I was just wondering, like, so what was the process for you to get funding and everything to get this project off the ground?
Well, first, Christine Vachon of Killer Films signed off on the project. She really loved the script. It was like a rough draft, but she still really liked it. That made the film look more legit, and then we got private investors.
All right. Yep.
Can you describe what it was like working with your family?
What I wasn't working with? Yeah. My older brother, the cinematographer, Josh rented out like an office, and we met for a couple weeks, 3 weeks, just drawing diagrams, and neither of us can draw. So I can't even draw stick figures, and neither can Josh really. So sometimes it'd be a little difficult to be like explain the shot ideas we had to each other, but we did, and we went through like all the scenes. And in a very academic way, sort of was like, this scene is about this in this scene, this is what the scene's about. So we all know what. So Josh and I are on the same page about how we're telling the story. And my dad, I don't know how to describe what. I don't know. Dad can say I don't know, but he's over there. He was one of the executive producers, so he was kind of like, he was really, I'm the puppet, and he was really the one like kind of moving me around, honestly. If it wasn't for Dad, we wouldn't have been able to get the movie done, just period. Would have been zero chance of it happening. So thank you, Dad. And also Dad did come to set on a few days, and he started like looking at the screen with my brother, who was a cinematographer, and then like Dad saying like, you know, sort of directing sort of a little like, yeah, you should do this, you should do that. And so it was like the 3 of us were just like sort of working in like the rain scene at the end. We were all on set there.
Okay. More question? No? All right, go ahead.
Jim.
I love the film, and yeah, I actually got really kind of emotional during I'm really happy to hear that you always wanted that walk scene to be silent.
Yeah.
I thought that was like incredible, and that like the whole film could have been like summed up in that scene. You kind of like expressed to her what he couldn't express to anyone else, like with that music and just like being.
To me, it was like it's what falling in love feels like. So it was just they're just chilling.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess I really don't have a question, but I just wanted to cheer.
Look at one. I think there was one more question in the back. Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to thank you for portraying like mental illness, the challenging and also the humorous and mundane aspects of it. Were you always comfortable sharing that in your personal life or your art? Or was it a process that you had to get comfortable with?
I didn't, to help promote the movie, George LeVoux, the producer, and my dad were saying, you gotta say you're bipolar. So to help promote the movie, I didn't want to say that, but they said it would promote the movie, so I was like, all right. So I'll just keep doing interviews where saying bipolar, blah, blah, blah. And what was the rest? Oh, was I telling people?
Were you always comfortable talking about that aspect of life?
I used to be too comfortable with it because I would just be like, "Hey guys, I'm bipolar" or something, which is not really appropriate because it's a medical condition. And then later I was never telling anyone because I just thought it was inappropriate. But then with this movie, it's like they're saying to help promote it, I gotta be a crazy person. So they make makes the movie like people think it's more authentic because it was made by a guy who's actually bipolar, so yeah.
I don't know that you could really step into the phrase, you can't walk in somebody else's shoes and whatever, moccasins. And I don't know that it would have been authentic if you hadn't have, because you have such an honest way about you, Aaron, and you're so full of the truth. And that was one of the things that was remarkable for me in working on this film, was how much just out and out truth there is and how beautiful that is. And so I don't know that maybe when you say bipolar, maybe mental stuff, maybe that's something that we all really share, and that was when I looked at the title of the script. I love titles. And when I saw that it was called Inside the Rain, I was like, okay, what is this about? And, I think being bipolar it's very courageous and brave of you to put that in the world and say to the world that, hey, I'm a genius.
Oscars.
All right, so, and we I have one more question for you. Was it always planned to shoot in New York, or was that something that you decided later? Was it always going to be in New York City?
It was always going to be in New York, yeah.
And will the film be coming out? Do we know any?
It's coming out in theaters in March 2020.
Okay, cool.
I believe the Village East Cinema or something on March 13th. And in LA, it's going to be March 20th. Hey, Eugene.
Was it all shot in Brooklyn?
The majority, well, majority was Brooklyn, and also there was the Bronx, and then there was Staten Island. Oh yeah, the strip club stuff was at the West Side Highway in Manhattan. It's the Bale Club. It's not really a strip club. I actually couldn't really understand. It was some kind of membership program there. You can look into it.
All right. Well, I want to thank Aaron Fisher, Ellen Tolan, Catherine Curtin. Thank you very much. Inside the Rain. Thank you.
Yo, Ellen and her crew are going to the bar now.
Fucking Fisher!
25 years to make it.